almost assuredly will start cramping up. It's going to be, I mean, his effort is just so unbelievable right now that let's hope that it's still Swain, and it is! Swain, top, 2 to go, 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 2 to go! Swain is flogging himself like a rented mule that's due back at 9 o'clock. Wow!
That's Garrett Peltonen trying to bring it back. I don't know, the mule thing got me. I'm sorry, it cracked me. I was trying to...
As we come around, if he's got more than 2 seconds around that corner, I think he'll be able to make it stick. But it's going to come right down to it. It's all together. So let's line up a bunch kick now. Will Symmetrics figure out a way to get it done? Right up the middle. Sure, Andrew, as you were coming through. And this is Swain Tough, ladies and gentlemen. Swain, please stay with us. We want to chat with you as well. But Andrew, you know, I know that probably 99.8% of this crowd was completely trying to will that man across the line. We didn't really think about the scenario if he got brought back on that last lap. But you know what? In retrospect, you guys played that one perfectly, because if Swain didn't stay away, was that the plan all along for you to just punch it on that last lap? Because you really know how to hustle.
Well, I got my hats off to Swain, and he's going to Beijing, and he showed why today in front of his home crowd, and that was impressive.
So take me through the last lap. At what point did you realize that Swain was going to be brought back into the group, and then how were you able to, like, was Zach Bell able to get you up to the front at that point?
It was a little bit of chaos, because we weren't able to really do our lead out, because of course Swain was in front, so we didn't want to catch him. But I had all my teammates around me at the end, and we kind of managed our way through the chaos, and I came from pretty far back in the corner, and then I came at about 100 meters, I was like, holy crap, I'm going to win Gastown, so I was pretty psyched about that.
And you've been second here before, but this is something very special about this year. We've been talking a lot about the Olympics. Your Symmetrics team has this esprit de corps that's what I've never seen on another team. You guys are truly a band of brothers out there. I mean, when you take a win like this, you got to stop, and I know you haven't had a really chance to yet, but take a step back and think about what it means not only to yourself, but your teammates and this cycling community. It's an incredible day for you, isn't it?
Well, I mean, just to talk about my Symmetrics teammates, they are like my brothers, and you know, we've had a lot of budgetary problems this year, but you know, it's amazing how we stuck together and rode like a team, even under those circumstances, and you know, we're trying to keep this team together however we can, but I just can't say enough about my teammates, for sure.
I've never felt anything like that at a bike race. I'm talking Tour of California, Tour de Georgia, whatever. This is the most intense and supportive crowd I've ever felt. Would you sign off on that?
I agree, man. That last lap was unreal. This crowd is like nothing else I've ever experienced. It was awesome.
So I'm now starting to realize that in those final laps, you knew something that probably no one else did, is that this wasn't a last-ditch effort. You knew you had Pinner back there, didn't you?
Oh yeah. With the way he's been riding, man, it's a real good backup. Him and Zach are, I mean, they're two of the fastest guys out there, so, I mean, we got every angle covered here.
Well, Swain, congratulations, and thanks for putting on such a great show. You want to talk about a heart of a lion, Swain Tough. And I want to grab a word with this young man as well. I don't know. You know, I can hear someone in the crowd here yelling, thank you so much to Swain, and I would have to agree. When you watch efforts like that, it's got to be even inspiring for you, Zach.
Oh yeah, when you watch him go off the front there and just hold off all the chasers, and we're just sitting in there kind of, you know, chuckling a little bit. It's always nice, right? But I mean, the guy just finds like extra horsepower somewhere in that trunk every time he goes off the front. And I saw him do it in Philly. I mean, people saw him do it on TV at the US Open last year. It just boggles my mind every time.
So, you know, with you heading to Beijing now, you're going to be competing on the track. I couldn't imagine a much better send-off. I mean, when you're going to be in Beijing, you got to remember back about how great this crowd and how supportive your Canadian cycling fans are.
I mean, I specifically wanted to do this race in my program because it's just, it gets you so ramped up and sends you off on the right foot, especially with this team of guys behind you. I mean, you can't come out of this week feeling bad about how you're riding or or any of your form, because I mean, you get such good racing here, and then to have this team around, it just motivates you that little bit extra.
Well, clearly it does. So, you know, a lot of people have been asking me, when is your event taking place? When is the points race going to be on TV, or will people be able to see it back here in BC?
Yeah, the points race is on the 16th of August, so I don't know if they'll delay the broadcast or whatnot, but I'm going to be doing that, and just found out that I'm going to be doing the Madison with Martinez-Gilbert as well, so, and that's on the 19th.
Wow, well congratulations. And Zach, you know, I really want you to know that what you guys on the Symmetrics team have been doing is very inspirational for us out here, so go ahead and take that spirit with you to Beijing and bring home some hardware, okay?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks very much.
Magazine here with Sven. Tough to just was a crowd favorite in this race all the way around. Put on a real show for everybody. How'd you feel out there?
It felt good, man. It's again, Gastown's one of those races where you know, you got to just take the digs and try and just push it. And you know, with all our guys riding as strong as they are, we can afford to just keep shooting bullets and putting pressure on all the other guys in the race. And there's a few key guys to watch for: Horner and OB and a few other guys, you know, strong guys from the States coming up. And you know, got to put the pressure on them, because if they come to the line fresh, it's a bit of a battle. And so that was the plan. And then have Pinner and Zach kind of take it easy. They're our two fast guys, and man, they pulled it off just beautifully. And for me, yeah, you know, like getting caught right at the line is kind of it's a bummer, but at the same time, you know, to win like that is beautiful. So my hat's off to Pinner. He, like I said, he's really stepped it up the last few years and proven that he can sprint with the best guys, and he did it right there. You know, Hilton and OB, they're some of the fastest guys around. So again, congrats to him.
Yeah, you must be proud to have been out there. I mean, you won over the crowd. I noticed with 6 laps to go and maybe with 3 laps to go, you were looking back. What was going through your mind when you came across the line looking back like that?
I was starting to fade, so you know, like you really have to go fast, like to keep the gap open with Horner chasing, and you know, a few other guys like Zawanski and some real horsepower. So when you're doing a solo effort, you have to keep the pressure on so hard. And I was starting to feel it in the last few laps, so I was like kind of surprised that the gap was still where it was at, because I was fading pretty quickly. But then I was, you know, coming into the last lap, I was just like, man, I might be able to, if I can get through that last corner and just give it everything I have, I might be able to make it. But then I looked back over my shoulder and saw B just storming up with Hilton right on his wheel. And I was a little concerned because I didn't see any yellow guys, and then all of a sudden I see Pinner just flying out of, you know, nowhere, and he blew by those guys like you wouldn't believe. And Zach right there too, hanging in for third. So
well, when you're on a solo effort like that, you kind of go into your own head. I mean, you're thinking Olympics there. You're trying to sort of visualize being on the Olympic course. Did the Olympics come into your mind during the whole race?
Yeah, you know, everything for me has been pretty tunnel vision as far as that goes. So yeah, like when I'm doing that, I just think about suffering as hard as I can. And I've always known, like you know, throughout my career, that the only way you get better is by pushing yourself into that realm. And every time you're there, you learn something new, and I think your body changes a little bit more. You know, it kind of adapts to that kind of pressure. And so you know, it's always been a motto of mine. If I'm trying to gain better form and get faster, you have to be able to push yourself that much harder. So for me, that was the best thing about tonight. Was, again, yeah, I look at it like what it's going to take to suffer, you know, like in the TT, for example, in the Olympics. It's going to be the same kind of effort, just pushing mad watts.
Well, we'll all be here cheering for you over there. So what's between now and then?
I'll be doing Burnaby tomorrow, and then heading up to Kamloops. I have family up there, and just try and do a heat camp until I leave for Kyoto, Japan. And then I'll just do a week in Kyoto just to adapt to the time zone, and then boom, we're right over to Beijing and ready to do the road race.
All right, have a great time.